Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Bennett Tyler with the Aberdeen Group, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to part one of our three-part webinar series, Inefficiency Kills Growth, How Leading Companies Manage Growth and Maintain Momentum. The webinar today is hosted by Aberdeen Group and sponsored by Sage. During part one, we will be taking a deep dive into the various challenges that are slowing down companies on their road to growth. We'll be setting the stage for part two and three when we will uncover the strategies and technologies companies are leveraging to face these challenges. You can register for the rest of our webinar series by clicking the teal AG logo at the bottom right-hand side of your screen. Our presenter today is Nick Castellina, VP and Research Group Director for the Business Planning and Execution Practice here at the Aberdeen Group. If you'd like to read his full bio, please use the drop-down arrow below his photo on the right side of your screen. I encourage you all to submit your questions throughout the session using the Q&A field at the top left of your screen. While we won't have a live Q&A today, your questions will help drive part two and part three of our series and will be recorded for our extended Q&A session during part three. Also, on the left of your screen, you will see our resource section. There you'll find today's presentation deck, as well as an Aberdeen Smart Bite about SMB growth. It is now my pleasure to turn the webinar over to Nick Castellina.
Thanks, Bennett, and thank you everybody for attending this session here today. As Bennett mentioned, this is just the first of a three-part series around how your organization can really avoid the challenges that come along with growth. As you grow as an organization, so a lot of good things are going to happen. You're going to have more revenue, you're going to have more customers, you're going to have more employees, you may have more locations. But at the same time, those good things bring a lot of challenges as well, and chief amongst those is inefficiency. So what we're really going to talk about today is set the stage for some of the tips that I'm going to give you in subsequent sessions. So we're going to talk about really what the challenges are that organizations like yours are facing today, and get some hints into the ways in which they're addressing those challenges through their technology and through their actions and through the capabilities they've implemented as an organization. With that said, why don't we talk about some of the key findings that we're going to go over today. And again, this is really just to set the table. What are the challenges that organizations are facing today? So number one, you see that rising costs and disorganization hold many businesses back from achieving their full potential. So there's a lot of things that your business leaders and your employees want to do as an organization that they think are really going to add value to the business. But at the same time, real business conditions such as cost constraints, such as a lack of organization, a lack of communication across your organization, the lack of standards, really hold organizations back from achieving exactly what it is they set out to do. So it could be a situation where you don't have enough resources to design a specific product. You don't have enough cash to purchase the materials that you want to purchase as an organization. You don't have the intelligence or the time to implement best practices that are really going to improve efficiency across the organization. So you're really kind of just doing all that you can to just kind of maintain. We're going to talk about a lot of ways in which that organizations like yours can actually avoid those costs or minimize those costs to turn your negatives into positives. So we're going to talk about what comes along with growth and how growth brings success, but also complexity, competition, and scrutiny. So new business models allow your competitors to compete with you in more avenues and more arenas than they ever have before. Online sales, for example, have brought a whole new way for your competitors to enter your market that they may not have been able to in the past. But at the same time, it really brings a lot of other opportunities for you as well. Growth also adds scrutiny when it comes to regulatory and quality compliance, meaning that you need to do as good a job as you did when you were a small business to continue to serve customers in a compliant way to ensure that they're still coming back. As well as just the competition challenges as well. We are going to talk about some of the things that leaders do when it comes to looking to standardize and accelerating their processes. So determining where they can find more efficiency as an organization to produce more with less hindrance on existing resources. Also, leaders look to provide visibility into key business data and information to ensure that they're making agile decisions that are really going to improve the business as quickly as possible. They're able to avoid adverse events, but also take advantage of any opportunities that might present themselves. Then we're going to talk about the need for a modernized business system and how that can help your organization to address new opportunities, whether it comes to new best practices, whether it's new ways of selling your products or producing your products, new ways of communicating with your extended enterprise or internally, or also ways in which to make better decisions utilizing the data that's available to you. And then we're really going to talk about what the biggest disadvantage is when it comes to growth, inaction, the inability to address these challenges head on as soon as they present themselves are going to make sure that your organization is able to stay up to date with its technology, but also stay in competition with your competitors. So this is why you should all listen to me. I want to talk a little bit more about why you should believe the things that I'm going to be saying throughout this webinar series, and just talk a little bit about how this information came to bear and where I'm getting this information from. So, again, as Bennett mentioned, I'm Nick Castellina. I'm the Vice President and Research Group Director of Aberdeen's Business Planning and Execution Research Practice. And what Aberdeen does for the end user like you is produce research and content that kind of gives you an idea of the ways in which your peers are addressing their business challenges. We have a variety of research practices here at Aberdeen that cover individual industries, for example, like manufacturing or retail, individual functions like supply chain or human resources, or even groups that dedicate specifically to technology like business analytics, ERP, or kind of security and those heavier tech types of research practices. But the way we do all this research is through online surveys that we supplement with end-user phone calls. So we've got a large community of people that take our surveys, read our research, attend our webinars, and within each of these surveys, we are asking a series of questions that help us to produce the content that we produce. So we have what we call our PACE methodology and our best-in-class framework. So PACE stands for Pressures, Actions, Capabilities, and Enablers. What that means is we walk every single survey taker through a series of questions related to this methodology. The P for pressures being the key challenges that are facing an organization in whatever the given topic is. So typically that's a question where we say, select your top 2 challenges in the coming months, and they're allowed to select their top 2 out of a list between somewhere of 8 and 10. Then we have the A for actions, which are the key strategies that an organization is putting into place in the face of these pressures. Same type of question. It can be things like improving collaboration across the organization, providing more insight into customer data, streamlining and accelerating processes. The types of things that your organization is intending to do in the coming months to become more effective in the face of these pressures. Then we have the C for capabilities, which are the core competencies that an organization is putting into place or has implemented to support these strategies. Typically, we ask these questions in the format of, what have you currently implemented, what do you plan to implement, and what do you have no plans to implement. So the core competencies can be anything like organizational capabilities, process management capabilities, performance management, knowledge management, really a lot of times the features and the functions of the software that organizations are putting into place. Then lastly, we have the E for enablers, which is the key technology that provides these capabilities. Things like business management solutions, accounting solutions, ERP, business analytics, you name it, the types of technologies that organizations are putting into place to improve themselves. Same type of question, we ask them what they've implemented, what they plan to implement, and what they have no plans to implement in the future. Then we have what we call our best-in-class methodology. Sometimes we also do our leaders-followers methodology. And what framework? And what that means is we take every single survey taker and we ask them a series of key performance metrics questions. So these can be things like, what was your complete and on-time shipments over the last year? What was your improvement in profitability over the past 2 years? How long does it take to close a month? Again, the types of things that are related to or indicative of superior performance in whatever the topic at hand may be. Based on their responses, we place survey takers into 3 classes, the top 20% being the best in class, the middle 50% being the industry average, and the bottom 30% being the laggard. What we're then able to do is marry the framework and the methodology together to provide kind of a step-by-step guide on what best-in-class organizations are doing that the rest really are not. The all others are not. So if you see a situation where a best-in-class organization is more likely to, have the ability to do demand planning, for example, that tells you that that's something that may be indicative of their success. Because, for example, if you're good at demand planning, you're going to get more of your products out on time to customers when they need them, right? So don't worry about the exact numbers when you see those types of bars. Just worry about the story that the data tells. And what that really tells is these are things you should be thinking about to improve your organization as you look to avoid the pitfalls of growth. With that said, let's dive into the data and kind of set the table for this entire webinar series. So as Bennett mentioned, we're going to be doing 3 different sessions, today for half an hour, in a week or so for another half an hour, and then a week or so after that we're going to be doing a little bit longer session to kind of give you the whole story on what challenges organizations face today and how they address those challenges when it comes to growth. So today we're really going to talk about the goals of a growing organization, the challenges they face, and some of the things that they need to avoid as they manage these growth expectations that they're facing in the stage in which they're operating as an organization. So let's start with some data from a recent survey. I asked organizations to select their top 2 out of a list of around 8 when it comes to their goals for 2017. And number 1 by far, you see 76%, is profitability margin growth. So these organizations are looking to build on the success they've had in the past, or the failure they've had in the past, I guess, to become more and more profitable. And how do you become more profitable, really? You increase revenue and you decrease costs. So there's a lot of ways in which organizations are looking to impact this growth and really build this growth. And that comes from some of these other goals that you see on this slide. Number 1, increase customer service. Organizations that are in a growth phase understand that really the customer is the way that you're going to get to your next level, because you're going to be selling more theoretically and bringing more money into the business. So to do so, these organizations are looking to increase their customer service, whether it's through the introduction of new products and services or just making those products and services better, of higher quality, of higher demand to their customers. So these organizations are understanding that they need to really get better at what it is they're doing. One other thing that's, I think, really important to consider on this slide is that third leading goal for 2017, and that is the modernization of business systems for these organizations. So what that means is utilizing technology and emerging technology and more modern technology to become more effective at operating. So rather than relying on things like spreadsheets or outdated legacy systems, they're understanding that there's a lot of opportunity when it comes to best practices, emerging functionality that's being built into modern business systems that these organizations can utilize to take advantage, to really combat their challenges in the modern business environment. So what are really the business drivers that these organizations are also looking to do in order to support their growth in 2017? Again, these relate very heavily to reducing costs and improving revenue. But one specific business driver that you see here is the need to manage growth expectations. As an organization grows, they're facing a lot of different challenges when it comes to a lack of visibility into what's going on in the business day to day. So you're removing your business leaders from the front lines and really relying on them to make decisions and guide the business without as much insight as possible into what's going on a day-to-day basis. So it becomes very difficult for them to act in the right way when it comes to taking advantage of opportunities, avoiding adverse conditions. Your organization grows, and as a result, it really becomes less efficient, not only in the decisions you're making, but also just in the way you operate in general. People are getting spread apart. People are, spread more thin as an organization because they're trying to wear more hats and do more things. So it makes it very difficult for organizations to quickly, inexpensively react to business change. And in a growing organization, that's really where change is going to happen the most. So it becomes a significant challenge for organizations of all types and sizes. So let's focus a little bit more on the challenges related to growth and how that's going to impact your organization's ability to succeed in the future. Because when you can't focus on what's happening down the line, you're really just trying to continue to operate and really kind of starting to feel as if your business is in over its head, that's going to hold you back and hinder you and not allow you to take advantage of the opportunities that open up in this new business market. So when you're a growing organization, these are some of the things that really impact you. You're forced with or you're exposed to new product lines. So you're delivering new types of products that you've never delivered as an organization, requiring you to change processes, requiring you to change your business relationships, requiring you to enter new markets with new types of customers. You're experiencing more locations, so your employees are no longer working right next to each other. They may be in different time zones. They may be in different countries. Even if they're just down the street, it's not as easy as it used to be able to have the types of productive meetings, have the types of productive conversations, to have those types of handoffs that were really effective when you were a growing organization once you start expanding geographically. You also see that gift and curse of more customers but more competition. So you're exposed to more customers because of a lot of the changes in today's business market when it comes to online sales, when it comes to new ways of delivering products to customers, new channels. But your competitors are able to take advantage of those things as well, meaning that the market is much more wide open. It takes a lot to really differentiate yourself and ensure that you can deliver products to customers at a more attractive way than your competitors can. You also see the impact of growth when it comes to more data. So your organization is exposed to more information than ever before. More information about your customers, more information about demand trends, more information about finances. Now, this data is all great to be collecting, but it becomes a bear when you can't actively or adequately actually do anything with this data. So these organizations are having a lot of trouble consuming the data that's available to them and converting that to adequate and decisions that are really going to grow the business. Also, when you're growing, you're forced to face really more regulatory scrutiny. So depending on your industry, that can be more difficult or less difficult, but still, as a larger organization, these regulators that are really trying to build revenue through taxes, through audits, through fines, they're seeing you as a bigger fish and trying to really kind of get as much money as they can from you, to be honest. But the more prepared you are as an organization to get your ducks in a row when it comes to regulatory compliance, the easier that process is going to go and really going to cost you much less. And then really the loss of standards, quality, and consistency when it comes to growth. So as you grow as an organization, the things that made you successful in the past may not be as feasible to pull off. You may have had really tight quality standards when you had 5 employees, but all of a sudden you've got 60 employees, you've got 100 employees, you've got 1,000 employees. It becomes a lot more difficult to ensure that all of your employees are acting with best practices to ensure that quality and consistency that's so essential to your business's success. So that's just another challenge that really comes along with growth. And then ultimately all this leads to is confusion. So confusion, disorganization, lack of consistency, that all comes along with growth and are things really that your business needs to address before it can really focus on the things that it needs to focus on to continue to grow and to become a more effective organization. And again, these are just some of the challenges that go along with what I talked about in the last slide, the challenges that organizations noted that really impacted their ability to grow and really hindered their ability to grow. Unpredictable demand, meaning that your organization can't understand what products it needs to build, when it needs to have them, when it needs to get out to, when they're going to need to get out to customers, is going to put you in a lot of situations where you're not maximizing your ability as an organization. If you don't have products available for your customers when they want them, you're missing out on opportunity. If you are unable to secure materials ahead of time, you might not be able to get the best price, or materials may not become available. Demand planning is absolutely essential for a growing organization, and that's extremely difficult without a lack of insight into your organization's needs. Also, you see challenges related to skilled resources, challenges related to data when it comes to being able to consume the information available to you as an organization and make those types of decisions and not really kind of be paralyzed by data. That's another thing that's making it difficult because organizations understand that they need to utilize this data for growth, but they aren't able to do so effectively. And then obviously a lack of working capital or credit. So you got to spend money to make money is really kind of my theory when it comes to business. But as a smaller organization or as a growing organization, those cost constraints are really impactful. So you need to find ways in which to do as much as you can with the resources that are available to you and maximize your investments, whether it's in machinery, whether it's in people, whether it's in product. You need to get as much as possible out of what's available to you to continue to grow as an organization. So what are the strategies that organizations are putting into place today in the face of these pressures? You see a lot of different things that are absolutely essential to maximize productivity and maximize profitability in that growth phase. You see the number one strategy for managing growth today is to streamline and accelerate processes to improve efficiency and productivity. Also, standardized business processes is another related strategy. So these organizations are looking to determine what their best practices are, how those practices impact their performance metrics and their success, and ensure that they're standardizing across the organization to help to reduce costs and maximize the value of their resources. You also see some strategies related directly to utilizing data when it comes to providing visibility to business processes across functions and departments, providing timely information on critical decision-making and data to frontline employees. It's really all about utilizing this information. Because without data, you're really kind of flying blind when you're making decisions as an organization. So one thing I really want you to focus on here is the modernization of technology infrastructure and applications. So what we're finding here at Aberdeen is that top-performing organizations understand that they need to make a decision when it comes to technology on how they're going to use that technology to support their business going forward. We found that the biggest mistake that organizations make today when it comes to modernizing their technology is indecision, or putting the decision off till later. There's a lot that your organization is going to miss out on because they don't have access to the capabilities and the functions, the things that I was talking about earlier in this deck, that are going to allow them to standardize those processes, get the most value out of their employees, act efficiently, promote standards, provide visibility with the technology that they have existing. And in order to really support that growth, they've got to modernize their technology infrastructure and applications. And we're really going to go into that a lot further in some of the upcoming sessions and really dig deep into what capabilities you should be implementing as an organization, as well as the technologies and some of the strategies as well. So just to kind of tease that out a little bit and give you a reason to understand why you should attend some of these upcoming sessions and figure out what you need to do as an organization, is kind of not scare you, but show you what you're missing out on. We've compared a variety of organizations on this slide across a variety of key performance metrics, and what I've called this slide is really the cost of doing nothing. And the organizations where it says the latest release are organizations that are basically on the latest release of their business management or ERP software. The organizations that have made no decision either have not implemented business management or ERP, or they are an older version of their existing solution. They have a legacy solution, or really something that's they've had for quite a while that's been supporting their business. And the difference is pretty substantial when it comes to these performance metrics that we were able to measure. And what that's really saying is, if you're not making this decision, you're missing out when it comes to key performance metrics that are indicative of your business performance, that are going to continue to hold you back from growing. So you see some of the operational metrics like day sales outstanding, where they're able to collect cash more quickly and then reinvest that cash into the business. You see metrics related to efficiency and customer service when it comes to complete and on-time delivery and internal schedule compliance. And you also see really metrics related to decision-making when it comes to data. You see that organizations that are on the latest version of their technology are able to utilize more accurate financial reports and receive information more frequently during the decision window, meaning they actually receive that information when it's going to be valuable to them for decision making, rather than how many times have you had a situation where you received a report and said, well, this information really would have been a lot more valuable yesterday when I purchased those materials, for example, or where I made this sale, or where I changed this pricing for my product. This is absolutely essential for organizations to make effective decisions in the day-to-day operations of their business. So lastly, just a few slides to talk about the benefits of making that decision, and we'll dig much more deeply into this next time. But I just wanted to show you that these organizations that are modernizing their business systems are able to take advantage of emerging technologies and best practices that are essential for maintaining growth in the current business environment. You see, those on the latest version are more likely to utilize best practices that the ERP vendors are building in that may be industry specific. They're more likely to have access to ERP for mobile devices, have business intelligence analytics, have access to e-commerce, have collaboration capabilities. These are the types of things that are really setting the foundation for growth in today's business environment. And these are really the reasons for taking that next step and thinking about some of the capabilities we're going to be talking about within the next presentation. So really just kind of talk about why you would take that next step. Why do organizations implement ERP today? What challenges are you probably facing that are hindering you as a growing organization if you have not implemented ERP? This is really, we asked the question, what challenges have you faced in your business today of organizations that have not implemented a business management or ERP solution? They're faced with redundant data. They're finding it difficult to share that data outside the organization. They can't collaborate effectively. Really, they're not able to act in ways that are essential to manage growth when it comes to quick decisions, when it comes to visibility into what's going on a day-to-day basis, when it comes the ability to collaborate and communicate in order to become more effective and maximize your resources. These challenges really sync up quite well with the challenges that other organizations face when it comes to growth. So thinking about implementing an ERP solution or a business management solution really is going to help you to minimize these challenges and then focus on the things that are most important. And then for an example, there are cases where organizations have an older legacy solution that's really just not doing all it can for them as they're attempting to continue to grow further. We asked organizations, why have you upgraded your ERP solution, either purchasing a new one or upgrading to the latest version of your existing solution? Number one is they want to take advantage of new functionality. So in a growing market, these ERP vendors are building things into their solutions that help to aid in that growth and provide capabilities that are absolutely essential for a more modern organization. That's the number one reason for implementing one of these types of solutions, to become more effective as an organization and to help to escape those challenges related to growth. So again, this was really just to set the table for kind of what the challenges an organization like yours is facing today. I hope you found that information valuable because it really kind of speaks to what your peers are feeling, and I'm sure really kind of resonated with some of the things that you're seeing as well as a business. But in the next couple sessions, we're really going to talk about, well, we talked about all these challenges today, how do you actually address those challenges? So what we're going to do in the next session is to learn about the most important process improvements that support increased efficiency. We're also going to understand how to provide employees with the ability to make agile, informed decisions. Then we're going to dive a little further into the top selection criteria for ERP and business management solutions, and then devise a ERP implementation plan for organizations like yours. I think maybe that session will really kind of give you the big picture on, okay, well, we're really significantly hindered by growth. Here's what we need to do to really take the next step as an organization. So with that said, I just want you to think about these things before our next session. Again, this is just the same key findings slide that you saw earlier in this deck. But really, rising costs and disorganization hold many businesses like yours back from achieving their full potential. So your organization needs to actually do all it can to minimize those costs and to improve organization and collaboration and efficiency as an organization so that you can actually utilize your resources to achieve your full potential as an organization, differentiate yourself as an organization, and become more competitive. Through the modernization of business systems, you can standardize and accelerate processes, provide visibility and enhance agility, and really become more effective as an organization. So inaction is only going to put your organization at a disadvantage. I hope over the next few sessions we can give you an idea of what those actions should be, and you'll come out a more effective organization. With that said, that's the end of my talk track for today. Bennett has some wrap-up housekeeping to do, and I'll give you a little more information about the next session, but I hope you found this information valuable, and I look forward to the next session. So thanks, everybody, and thank you, Bennett.
Thank you very much, Nick. That wraps up part one of our three-part series. Once again, you can register for the rest of our series by clicking the teal AG logo at the bottom right-hand side of your screen. Thank you to Nick Castellina for sharing your research, insights, and recommendations with us all today, and thank you to our sponsor, Sage, for making this series possible. We hope you found today's broadcast to be beneficial, and if you have any additional questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We have contact information up on the screen right now. At the conclusion of the webinar, we have a short survey about today's event. We'd love to hear any feedback that you have on our webinars, and we appreciate your time. Part 2 of this series will air live on Wednesday, March 8th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We look forward to seeing you there. Thank you very much for your participation, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your day.